Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about the Drupal views module. Now the purpose of the views module is to basically access all the information from our database and make it into a presentable format for the user to see it on our site. So in this video I'll be creating a new view and I'll be modifying it according to what I want. So I'll go to structure, I'll click on views, and this is where I can see all my views. Now I'll create a new view over here and I'll name it for the purpose of this video Drupal view. I'll create a page in this view and I'll keep all these settings as default right now. Now as we can see, I've created the Drupal view page, the Drupal view, and we'll go through each one of these one by one. Now as you can see over here, the path has already been created for my view, which is Drupal/Drupal view, and so I can go over there so this is what my new view looks like, and the content over here that you see is basically random content that I've generated using configuration, generate content, and article. So this thing basically creates all the random content that I want. I've done this so that I can show you what editing will look like, so as to give you a bit more of a context. Now we'll go back. Now this is the title for the view and I want to change it. So if say I want it to be my new view, I click on save, and now when I click on refresh, I can see that the title has changed. The format right now for my view is basically a horizontal format, and I don't want that. I want it to be a vertical grid like section, so I can change that by clicking on formatted text list, and I'll click on grid over here and I'll apply the changes. I want 3 columns right now, so I'll change that and I'll keep the rest of the default settings for my grid right now. I'll save the settings and yeah, now I will refresh the page, and as you can see, the grid has been formed over in my view section. I don't want this kind of layout where everything is just chaotic and everything, so we'll change that. This is the content part of this view, and this is showing basically the content. It is everything that is there, so I don't want that. I want it to be more specific, so I'll choose fields for that. Now what fields would do is, I have the ability using fields to specify what I want. That is, if I want a title, I will add that field to my view, as you will see later on as I do that. So as of now, the default field that will come when I click on the fields would be the content. This means that only title would be shown, nothing else. And as you can see that from the preview, there is only title in this view. Yep. When I refresh this page, the only thing you'll be seeing is the title, but I want to add more content to it, and I want to add some images. In this specific view, I want to add a certain image, so I'll add content, which is through the body. I'll add an image, and we'll configure the specific settings for each one of these later on, and I'll save it. Now as you can see, the title and body and image that I have added, this is the order that the content would be shown in. So when I click on refresh, I'll first see the title, then the body, followed by the image. Yeah, there you go. So the image right now here is in varied sizes, and I don't want that. The images are in varied sizes, and I don't want that. I want it to be uniform, and for it to be uniform, I'll add style to it, which is thumbnail, because I want it to be the minimum size. I'll save that, and when I click on refresh, you can see the size has been changed to uniform size. Now the content, as you can see here, is a lot of content that isn't supposed to be there. So what I'll do is, I'll, instead of uploading all the content in one page, I'll add one or I guess I'll add 3 to 4 lines of content, and then I'll add a read more option for the user who's interested to click on it and read it in another blog post. So we can do that by selecting content body, and over here we have the format for default, which gives us the option to trim it. But when we click on this option, when we add like 200 characters to it, what it will do is it will trim the content, but it will not provide a read more option for us to go for. So we don't want that, we want the entire content. So what we're gonna do is, I'll even show you what it does actually. So when I click on refresh on this page, what this is gonna do is it's gonna trim the content. That's fine, but it's not gonna provide us read more option, and we don't want that. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna click on body again, and I'm gonna change it to default. Now I'm gonna trim it, but I'm gonna trim it from another option. This is the get results option. Because from when I choose this option, this will provide me another option to select and add a read more link, so that if a user is interested in these specific words or paragraph I've provided them with, they will then click on the read more option and read more about the blog post. So as of now, I'll add the read more label, and I click on apply. Now as we click on it, as we refresh the page, you can see there's a read more option now, but when I click on it, I don't see anything. So basically what I've done is I've added a link for sure, but I've not linked it to anything yet. So for that, we'll be adding another field known as the path. This path field will have the content to my blog post, and just so that my body can access it, I'm gonna rearrange this entire thing. So I'm gonna shift content path to the top, and yeah. So now that I've added path, I have to link it to my body tag. So the procedure to link this would be you go to the replacement patterns that have been provided above. So replacement pattern above, and this is the link I'll be using to link my path to the body tag. So when I do this, I'm basically linking the read more tag to my content tag. So when I click on apply, what is going to happen is that when I click on the read more option, I'm able to view the entire blog post. So now that I click on the read more option, there you go, I can see the entire blog post. But what happened is that there is another minute detail that has occurred over here, that is with the tag they have added the node, that is the address to the path. I don't want that, so what I'll do is I'll exclude from display, and there you go, problem solved. Now we'll go on to the other sections, that is the filter criteria. What this basically does is that it will only show the things that is equal to the published status. That is, if an article is published, it will show that. So if it is not published, it would not show that. So this is basically everything that the filter does. And the sort criteria works on the same principle, except that instead of displaying or not displaying, it will only organize it in a decreasing or increasing order. Now let's say I want to look at blog posts from specific authors. In this case, let's say I want to view it from just Autumn Eska, or whoever, whatever the name is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to the advanced section and I'm going to add contextual filters to it. What this will do is that if I add an authored by field to it, authored by filter to it, and when I click on apply, what this is going to do is that this will show me that when I enter the address of a specific author, it would show me the articles of that very person only. So like when I enter the address of, say, I guess 0, it would show me the author post of the author who has the address of 0. When I enter, I guess, I am 8, it would show me the post from the author whose number is 8. And so that's what it does basically. Now I can change this to display a summary, to display all the to arrange all the posts according to their authors. So when I click on it, what this will do is it would arrange it according to this. Now I'll save this for you to see it in the view module. I'm going to click on refresh and I remove this address. I can see all the things, all the posts from the authors. So when I click on 3, I'll be able to see the blog post from this guy or this girl, and when I click on 4, I'll be able to see it from this person, and when I click on, say, 11, I'll be able to see the blog post from this person. So this is what the contextual filter is all about. Now suppose I want to add a name. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a relationship to it, and I'm gonna add content author, and I'm gonna add a relationship, apply, and I'm gonna add author name over here. That is the name, user or the author name, and this is going to display the summary. This I'll be removing. So now when I click on save, what it would do is that it's going to show all the blog posts of authors, but now it would show it by their name. So let's say I want to view the blog post of this person over here. I'll click on it and it will show me all the things that the person has posted. This is what the contextual filter relationships do. So these were the major features of view module. You can explore more and display, add caching or display caching, and let's say there's an error in caching, you can enable that. Let's say you want to add a filter from the user side so that the user may be able to use it. So you can do that by going over here and exposing this filter to the users to allow them to use it. And when you click on save, you will find that there's an option over there which now lets the user to select no if he wants the blog post to be published. There are no published status, there are no blog posts that have not been published as of now. It won't show anything. So now when the user clicks on the yes option, you can see all the blog posts. These are the major features of view module. Now you can shift this section, this filter, expose filter to this side using the block modules, and you can also add more content to the fields. So there are lot of things that you can do with the view module and make it look more elegant and more, you know, aesthetically appealing. But these were the main content that I've covered in this video. For more details, check out my blog post. Thank you.